Hello and welcome to Tansson TV Plus. I am Brandon.
And I'm Mom. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, so today we're doing things just a little bit different, and we are using finally the plus part of our new name, Tansson TV Plus.
Yeah, that's so exciting, Brandon. We actually got to get a chance to watch a movie together.
Yes, and so for our first foray into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we are finally watching.
The Marvels.
Yeah, so we're very excited to watch this. We had this on our list since about February, and so I'm so glad just a week or so ago that we had a chance to tune into the Marvels.
Yep, I'm glad we got a chance to also, Brandon. Actually, we watched it as a family, which is very exciting to do.
Yeah, and so I'm going to go ahead and begin by leading off this discussion. So of course, this is, as I mentioned before, a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, film and TV franchise, and this is both a sequel to the Captain Marvel movie that we saw in theaters back in, I believe, 2019, and a continuation of the Miss Marvel show we saw at home on Disney Plus, I believe, just 2 years ago.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, but I do want to actually dive straight into the action a little bit. And so, first of all, Mom, what did you think of this movie?
Overall, I really like the movie, Brandon. I had a feeling I would like it because I did watch Ms. Marvel on Disney Plus, and so it was very nice to see this movie and to see the continuation because he kind of left us hanging, a couple years ago.
Yeah, it really did. And I should say that neither of us we didn't really know much about this movie going into it.
No, we didn't. I had not read ahead, and no one had told me anything about the particular movie.
Yeah, and I hadn't really heard much of anything about it. I don't even remember the trailer. I'm sure I've seen it, but I in our rewatch, I don't remember it.
I do remember seeing a trailer. I just didn't remember the details of the trailer. And just so the audience knows, we watched the trailer at the end to see if everything kind of went together as the trailer kind of alludes. And for the most part, it did.
Yeah, and so in this movie, we the Marvels, we have a team with the same name, composing of Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers that we saw in the previous movie, and then we also have Miss Marvel that we had in the TV show, Kamala Khan, and then from the WandaVision TV series we have Monica Rambeau.
Hmm. Yes, Brandon. And there were, can I talk about some of the things I liked about the movie, Brandon?
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right. One of the things that stood out to me about the movie was the humor. I really, really liked the way they did it. Um, I like the way they continued with Miss Marvel, and I like the ending connection. And then, even bigger than that, I like the way they included the parents in this particular in the movie itself. The parents played a remarkable role, or had a large role, in Ms. Marvel, the TV series. And so, to actually see the parents in the movie was very nice, and to see that they didn't just have them at the beginning; they let them stay the whole way through. Um, I like that Nick Fury came back. I really like that. Um, I like the interaction of the three Marvels together. I thought they did a great job. I thought they did a nice job of kind of introducing them to the plot and how they kind of, and yes, there might be some small spoilers here, how they kind of interchange with each other throughout the movie itself. Um, let's see. And I also like there's one particular scene where the Carol Marvel, actually not Carol Marvel, but Carol, she actually acted like she was a princess. That particular scene, well, I shouldn't say acted, she was a princess, but that particular scene, I thought they did really, really well. They used subtle humor there, but it was nicely done. So I really liked that particular scene. And so those are some of the things I liked about the movie. What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, I certainly love those aspects of the movie as well. I love the storytelling of it too. For a Marvel movie, we typically get like a lot of dialogue and exposition, and we didn't. we sort of saw it through the way that we were told the story, which I thought was just such a unique way of doing it. Truly felt like no minutes wasted within this movie, and so very fast paced. But most importantly, I love the characterization of it, the sort of team that we get to see, and I really love learning about, especially Monica's story, getting to learn more about her, but especially Kamala and seeing her sort of geeking out at all of this.
Yeah, yeah. Kamala she is a very very good character, and she plays her version of Miss Marvel very well.
Yeah, that is so true. And as another note before we head into the next part is, I do want to say I 100% agree that I love that they kept, Kamala's family in here, because I think that was just such a strong aspect of the Miss Marvel TV show that we saw back in 2022. And so I think being able to tie them into this movie and not just have them as passive characters, but have them actively involved within the plot and storyline, I thought was probably one of the best decisions they made for this movie.
Yeah. And one of the things you mentioned, Brandon, was you liked the way the action was just kind of there. And one of the things that we kind of talked about a little bit was that this Marvel movie was much shorter than the other Marvel movies that we've seen. Do you think that had an impact on the storytelling process?
I think it did, and I think for to give the point across, I think it did a good job. I mean, truly, I thought it was just well done. Although I certainly think that it could have maybe could have used another minute or so just for a little breather and maybe to flesh out the villain character just a little bit more. Um, Nothing per se wrong with her. It's just more so that I don't know. I feel like for Marvel movies, we oftentimes see that great pains are put in to make sure that we care about the villain per se. But I don't know if I really got the villain's motivation per se. I understand it. I just don't know if it was 100% crystal clear per se, as we have maybe in some other movies.
Yeah, I agree with that also, Brandon. I thought the villain was not as developed as some of the other movies that we've seen. And so it did take a while to understand why she was so upset. It actually came out in the trailer much better than it did in the movie, but I mean the reasoning was there. It just was a is a villain. We're not supposed to care about the villain, but I thought we should explain a little better about why she was a villain or consider it the villain in the movie.
Yeah, but in the same time, though, I'm sort of glad, another hand that that she didn't that she wasn't the focus of it per se, that we truly allowed the free Marvels to shine and
Yeah.
and see their teamwork and their camaraderie together, because I think that sort of added to the fun of it, and it sort of, as weird as it sounds, made the villain irrelevant, and I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you there, Brandon. I really do. I really do. And that came out one of the parts that I didn't like about the movie. Like I said, like we've already talked about the villain, but I just thought she was a little vague. And even the group she was kind of helping, it was just kind of a little vague. Um, One of the other things I didn't like about the movie was not to give away the end, but I didn't like the way Monica left the movie. Um, and I should say in the movie itself, not the after scenes, but the movie itself. I didn't like how she kind of went to the other side of the portal, and I wasn't understanding why she couldn't stay on her side and close things up. So that was something I didn't like. I kind of understood why they did it, if looking ahead, but not necessarily in the moment. Um, And then my question was, where was the brother's wife? I mean, we have our new sister in law in the movie, and she is not in the movie. She's referred to by Kamala's brother, but um, but we don't see her at all. And then Carol itself and her powers were kind of interesting in regards to like Carol could light up the sun, but she couldn't kind of go after the villain. So that part was kind of interesting. But, and then And the other thing that I didn't like, which I was kind of confused about, was at some point in time the villain was kind of staged on the ground where she couldn't move, and no one took the bracelets off of the villain. I was not quite understanding that because at that point in time, I think they could have taken the bracelets, which gave her the power to do what she needed to do, but or to do what she thought she could do anyway. But no one took the bracelets off of her, and instead she kind of exploded later. So, so those are things I didn't really like about the movie. But like I said, overall, I thought the movie was it was an easy watch.
Yeah, it definitely was easy viewing, and I guess that brings us to the overall question before we go into any further discussion is: will we watch this again, and do we enjoy the movie?
Yeah, you know what, Brandon? I will watch it again. How about you?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I thought that this, it was a very fun movie, and it sort of brought together three characters that I don't know that I never would have per se pictured together, but I like them together.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I thought they worked really well together. I thought they played off each other really, really well, and the energy was very nice.
Yeah, and I would like to see like this sort of team again. I know the way that this movie concluded, it doesn't sound like that, but I'm sort of I'll remain hopeful.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to work together as a team again.
But yeah, but I know before we head into the two scenes that we have at the end, was there anything else about the overall main part of the movie that you wanted to discuss? I know we could be here for hours speaking about this, but
Yeah, one of the things I did like is that it did not have a dark side per se, as some of the other Marvel movies have, and I like that. Even though there was a villain, there was not a dark side to it, and that, as a moviegoer, I do like.
yeah, I know for us, we kind of like lighthearted movies, and I'll say that for us, when we got into the Marvel movies, like in 2018, that we I don't know this sort of like movie experience that we've had wasn't what we were anticipating at all.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I didn't think I would be a Marvel fan. I think we talked about that earlier, Brandon. But once you showed me some of the, and you watched some of them first. Once you showed me some of the movies, and then I kind of watched them in close to order. I really did become a fan of the particular universe that they've created.
Yeah, and I didn't start watching much earlier than you did, and so for both of us, it was the Black Panther movie of all things that that we had first watched in a theater from free tickets.
Yeah, we did watch it, and we were both thoroughly confused, not so much in the plot, but kind of how it fit in with everything else. And then once we started watching from the beginning, we understood how everything kind of fit together.
Yeah, but definitely, I know that the Marvel is certainly not going to be the last Marvel movie we're going to watch, but I know that Marvel is notorious for teasing future films and concepts and ideas towards the end of the movie, and we got two different scenes here in this one.
Yes, we got one I really, really liked. I'm a big fan of Hawkeye, so I was very happy to see Kate come on the last part of the movie. And you would have had to watch per se the TV series of Hawkeye to know who Kate is, or to be more familiar with Kate. And so I like that the Kamala, I'm sorry, well, Kamala at the end, where she kind of came out and she was with Kate and then mentioned about a possibility of having a younger set of Avengers. And I think that is really great. And then they referred to Ant Man's daughter, which of course started to make us think about what other younger group could actually be considered for this younger Avenger set. And it came out of, I will say, it seemed to come out of nowhere. So it was very nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we're familiar with the mid credit scenes and the end credit scenes, but this is the first time I think we've had a pre credit scene.
Yeah, and which kind of made me wonder, like, will there be an after end credit scene? And we did find out there was one.
Yeah, and so Mom, what do you think about the that I guess mid credits or after credit scene that we had?
The after credit scene, well, what I thought, well, I was happy to see that Monica was still there. And so Monica was there, and not to give too much away, but her mother was there too. However, based upon this universe, from what I'm understanding, that the mother did not recognize her as the mother, at least at this point in time, from the scene that we saw. And so, but the important thing is Monica was there. And then there were scenes from the X-Men, which I didn't know, but your brother had to tell me, that kind of that was alluded to in this particular movie and for this particular scene. And so that kind of leads to perhaps another X-Men movie, or Monica working with or I guess or whatever with an X-Man.
Yeah, and I know for me, well, first of all, to speak about the first credit scene, I'm just so excited for a potential like Young Avengers or whatever they decide to do, and so I thought that was kind of exciting to see. Like I said, Kate Bishop of the Hawkeye series, alongside Kamala. I thought that was kind of fun. But in terms of this other credit scene, I guess with a little X Men tie-in, we've never seen the X Men, neither of us, and so I don't really know much about it other than that they exist and that they have their own film series, I believe. But I mean, I'm excited to see what's to come of it, but I don't really have any sort of expectations for anything just because I'm not familiar enough.
Yep, same here. I'm not familiar, Brandon. So it'll be interesting to see, and especially the when it actually comes out.
Definitely. Although I will say that I know for our TV discussions we oftentimes discuss little TV connections, and never did I think that that our Marvel movie discussion would have a connection, but sure enough we do.
We sure did, and we were very shocked because we didn't pick up on it the first time.
Yes, and so for this, the one of the X Men characters, I believe his name is Beast, is portrayed by Kelsey Grammer, who plays Frasier in both this Frasier series we spoke about and in the first episode of Kate and Allie.
Yeah, so I was really shocked, and we had to go back and rewatch that particular scene to catch him in action.
Yeah, so that was definitely an interesting surprise. I'm curious as to see, like you said, like the timeline of everything, and how that's going to play out. Will it connect straight to the X Men films that I've never seen? I don't know. I'm excited to see what the future might hold for that.
Yep, same here, Brandon.
But yeah, but overall, I'm very excited. Like I said, that we finally had a chance to watch this movie. I know we've been discussing it for quite some time.
Yep, I'm so happy we got a chance to see it also.
But yeah, and I will say, to help close this out. So overall, like, what are you most hopeful for the future in the MCU? Any types of projects or anything that you just want to see happen coming up?
Well, I would like to see that younger Avengers group come together. I think that would be very nice to see how they kind of um, play off their parents, and then actually play off because they've just been kind of introduced one by one, and so that I think that'll be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, I likewise. I'm very excited to see a hopeful, Young Avengers movie or show or whatever the case may be. And I would love to see like a season 2 of Miss Marvel. I know it was a limited series, but now that the movie's over and we have like a little lull in there, I'd love to see some sort of season 2 because now that something we didn't speak about is that Kamala and her family have moved to, I guess, Monica's old home.
Yeah, and that was very surprising to see at the end. So I'd love to see how they kind of adapt in this new environment, and to see what their reaction is to this particular Marvel character.
Yeah, so I would love to see how that is, and of course to finally have Kamala's new sister in law there that we saw in the series and wasn't here today. What about her friends and their whole community? But at the very least, we got
Yes.
her parents throughout and brother throughout this movie.
Yep, we sure did. We sure did. And we'd love to see what our audience thinks also. So if you have any particular likes about the movies, please let us know.
Yeah, definitely, please do. And if you ever want us to explore anything else in the Marvel Cinematic Universe of things, yeah, let us know.
Yep, please do.
Yeah, well, until next time, Mom, I can't wait until the next one. And hopefully, this is just the first of many, movie discussions to come on the channel.
Yep, same here, Brandon. All right, for our audience, have a great day.
And we'll see you next time.
All right,
Bye.
bye bye.